Welcome back to the Transport Bandits. I'm Cheryl.
I'm Jeff.
And it's been a while since we have done a video.
Yeah, we left and went on our motorcycles. Everything was fine. We come back to this.
What is going on in the RV transport industry? We left with great loads on the board and come back and everybody's on a hiring freeze.
Yeah, it's total pandemonium.
The load boards are slim across the board, not just with Synergy. All the companies are like desperately fighting for loads.
Yeah, with Synergy, we're lucky.
At least we have
still
some.
have loads on our load board.
Yeah. And there's been a rate drop, even with diesel prices going up.
Yeah,
nobody can explain why across the board, not just with Synergy, all the companies had a rate decrease per mile. That's crazy. Why would they do something like that?
Why would they do it? Because these companies have to keep the lights on. And when there's not a lot of loads, they have to make as much money off each load as they can to pay their own bills.
That's true. You know, they've got a lot. The companies themselves have a lot of expenses.
Yeah, they rent all the
I can understand
and everything. Yeah, but, you know, we don't like it.
Yeah, as drivers, everybody's going to complain about that because we got to cut and pay with everything being as expensive as it is. But to me, a cut in the rates by a few cents is not worth complaining about because it's still higher than when we first started in RV transport. We're still getting a better rate than we were this time last year.
We are, but fuel's a lot higher now too. So
that's true.
I can understand everybody's concerns. Everybody is worried. Nobody knows what to do. Now, we've talked to a lot of people. We know people that are in the know, that are high up in this industry.
And we have a lot of friends working with different companies across the board. So we hear from them what's happening with their companies.
And no matter who I ask of these people that should know, they each have a different answer. So, what do you do then?
We don't know what's happening in the RV industry world right now, but we do know that there is a hiring freeze going on with all the companies. They're not hiring right now. So we are, as much as we love to tell you, you know, hire on with Synergy, put our names down as Transport Bandits in the referral box if you hire on because we get a bonus for that. We can tell you that right now, but they're not going to hire you because they're on a hiring freeze. Maybe until October. Now granted, it is now the end of August of 2022. And this is what's happening right now. Give it 2 weeks, it may not even be a problem. Give it 2 weeks, we may be out of business and not even be able to transport. Who knows?
I know one thing.
What's that?
I did a little research myself driving around Goshen and Elkhart. There are a lot of camper frames being built and stacked up.
And there are campers in the yards that are not on the load boards.
Right. But I like to go by those frames. If they've got a bunch of camper frames built and stacked up, they plan on making a camper out of them.
Because that's the first step, is building the frame for a camper.
Right.
And we saw there's quite a few. I mean, let's start from the beginning before we get too confused. Everybody knows that in July, at the beginning of July, there's a factory shutdown. And that's usually where they take a week or 2 weeks off at the beginning of July, around July 4th. The factory shut down and have vacation, and they refit the plant for the 2023 models.
Right. They got to take vacations. And Amish, they go home and pluck chickens or something. Right.
Pluck chickens.
Isn't that what they're doing?
I don't know.
It must be.
I don't know what the Amish do on vacation. Same thing we do on vacation.
No, it's chicken plucking season.
Chicken plucking day?
Yes, it's chicken plucking season.
Well, in any case, they take vacation and the factories are shut down. Well, that causes a trickle-down effect. And it causes us, since they're not making campers in the factories, then a week or so later, all the companies start seeing their loads going down because those campers from the factories are not coming to our yards to be dispersed, right? So that's the usual thing that happens in July. So this is nothing unusual. For some reason, Synergy was one of the only companies that had plenty of loads to take in July.
All through July.
All through July. We never did even show a slowdown. But now August hit, and it trickled down to Synergy as well.
Right.
Because even the big companies like Indiana and Horizon, man, they went down to like really few boards.
Right, but we are getting a few loads now. You know, it's not nothing.
Yeah, we've got like 60 or 75 loads on the board.
So me and Cheryl can stay busy.
But that's compared to in July when we had like 450 or 600 loads on the board.
Right, or that's compared to some other companies today that put people on a calling list. And you've got to go home and sit for 2 weeks and they call you. And it may only be a 400-mile load you get.
Yeah,
it's not worth driving.
They're thinking about quitting transport and having to get another job because in my opinion, that's why you want to go with a company that has a load board so you can actually see what's available to the drivers. If we didn't have a load board and couldn't see what was available, you're at the whim of your company to say, listen, do you want to take this one or this one? They may have 50 loads available, but they only told you about 2. I just can't fathom that whatsoever. So make sure if you're calling around thinking about checking into companies, ask them if they have a load board that you can actually look at and see.
Here's what I think. We got the Hershey RV show coming up. You know, everybody's going to see the 2023 models, and dealers are going to want some 2023 models. Give it a month, and we'll be back rocking.
I think so too. Now, right now, all of the dealerships, even when we were delivering to in July, the dealerships have gotten to be full on their lots. They have all the 2022 models that they can hold. They can't even hold another camper. And there was a rumor in July, or not a rumor, this is a fact, that 2 of the Keystone plants in Goshen shut down, and everybody panicked. Oh, the Keystone factories are shutting down. Oh, everything's going in the tank. This is terrible. That's not the case. What we learned was those were overflow plants. Those were plants that they open up that are producing passports or hideouts.
Yeah, when they get so many orders that their standard plant can't fill, they'll move over to that one to kind of pick up the slack. Right,
and also they overproduced because of in 2021 there was at the beginning there was such a demand for campers. They decided to open up those extra plants and produce more campers than they were getting orders for because they predicted a huge demand, and then it didn't quite pan out. So the factories they closed were like overflow factories where they were overproducing campers.
The thing is, what's happening right now is we just got too many 2022 models.
Right, and so all the dealerships across the country are full of 2022 models.
They need to sell some of them, then they'll be getting 2023 models in.
Yeah, so I think that by October and November, things will smooth themselves out and we'll be good to go. Now, what about this whole fuel situation?
You know, the fuel was going down.
And now it's gone back up.
Now it's going back up. Something's got to give. They're going to have to raise the rates again because...
I think they'll raise the rates again.
You know, this dropping...
Eventually, like October, November.
Right, but this dropping rates and raising fuel prices, that don't work.
But we're still making it, and if you're a smart RV transporter, you make it work because you do your research and find where you can get your fuel discounts the best at. Having that auxiliary fuel tank in the back is the key to success in RV transporting. Right. That's not a requirement, but having the auxiliary as big a tank as you can possibly hold, when you can find that diesel price at a phenomenal price or the lowest price you can find along your route, you want to get filled up so that you don't have to fill up where it's expensive at along your route.
Exactly. I mean, I stopped back there and just bought 20 gallons.
because it was
cheaper.
it's just going to get more expensive as we go on.
Right.
We are actually dispatched on a load right now. We are headed to Kelowna, British Columbia.
Yeah, it's a great load.
Our first load back after our summer off of riding to Sturgis and back, which we had a great summer. But we are going to get this one delivered to British Columbia, and then we are going to check to see if there's anything on the backhaul board. There's nothing on our backhaul board right now. Nothing we can take out at Oregon.
Well, they got one going to California.
Nope, nothing's on our backhaul board. I just checked it.
Okay, well, this morning they had one going to California.
There maybe tomorrow. Now, see, that's the thing. The load board changes from day to day. You can't tell somebody how many loads are on the... How's your load board looking? Well, today we have 50 loads on the board. But tomorrow, you may only have 20. Or you may have 200. There's no telling. It changes weekly, it changes daily. You never know what's going to pop up on the load board, and it's just been going up and down, up and down, up and down. And we don't know what's happening. We've got the November elections coming up, and that may change everything.
Who knows?
The economy, whatever happens.
There's one other thing, guys. Listen, when the loads are slim like this, you want to make money, don't be picky.
Don't be picky where you take a load. If you only want a load going back towards your hometown, then you're probably going to be sitting around not taking loads for a long time.
You know, if you've only got one load available and it's only going down to Ohio, take it.
Yeah. If that's what, if you can take it, take it. You know, some money in your pocket is better than no money in your pocket. And it doesn't really matter if it's not really where you wanted to go. As if you can make a profit and you've got more money in your pocket than you had yesterday, that's our ticket to success.
We got too many drivers out there that are too picky about where they go.
Take it wherever they have one available.
Right. Now, when we're in good times, when we've got 600 loads on the board, sure.
Yeah, you can go anywhere you want to. Well, there in August, while we were gone, we noticed that all of the companies had, this is a real problem, all their loads had only Canada loads that go into Canada, or a CDL load, which are the bigger campers. You had to have a CDL license. And so all the drivers who were non-CDL and could only drive in America they were having a really tough time, because there would only be 1 or 2 loads come up a day, and that was really tough on them. But now it's kind of evened out a little bit. The Canada loads have gone down.
Yeah, the American loads gone up a little bit. I think in the end, I think we're in agreement on this. As Transport Bandits, I'll make a prediction that sometime between the next 1 and 4 months, things are going to pick up again.
Yeah, just stick it out. If you're thinking about getting into the transport industry, or you're another driver and you're having a tough time, stick it out, okay? It's, you know, like everything else, you go through the good times, you go a little bit through the bad times, things are going to come back around and be all hunky-dory again. Just be patient. Good things come to those who wait, right?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Or we may be wrong.
We may be wrong, and we'll be homeless living under a bridge next month. Who knows? But yeah, as long as there's a load to take and it goes anywhere, and we can make a profit taking that load. Like, I would have normally been in a motorhome going out this way, but there wasn't any loads going this direction. However, we did have 50 loads in the motorhome division going other places like Florida and Texas and all that. But Jeff was going out here to this on this cross country load, and there wasn't a motorhome going this direction.
Yeah, and if you got to go more than 150 miles out of your way to pick you up,
then your profits are gone.
You're just dropping the profits.
Yeah, so I'm just riding along as team driving on this load out to British Columbia, and then in a couple of days that may change. We may have some on the backhaul board, and we can drop down to Oregon and get one.
Yeah, we may be up. There may be some on there now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, we'll check that again later today. That's the ticket, is keep checking the load board. and be ready to take a load when it pops up,
Yeah.
And that's all we can say right now. We don't know what's happening in the RV industry with all the loads. Why are there loads sitting on the yard that are not on the load board? Why do the yards look so empty? When will the 2023 models get rolled out and put on the yards? We don't know. We don't know.
Like I said, I've probably asked 10 different people that are higher up in the industry that should know, and I get 10 different answers.
Yeah.
So I've surmised that we're just going to stick it out.
Stick it out. That's the motto of the day. Just
keep your head down, stay on the road, don't be picky with your loads, and you'll be all right.
Right. Well, that's it for this little introductory video of what. Now that we're back on the road again, we're making videos. We're going to talk a little bit on the next video about truck maintenance, and Jeff is going to tell you some stuff about the truck, of things that you want to keep up and keep a check on, and how do you improve it, and how you can get the most out of your truck. So stay tuned for the next video that's coming up, and then we'll take you along on this trip out to British Columbia, because when we get out to Montana, Washington, and Idaho, and up into Kelowna, British Columbia, the Canadian Rockies, that's going to be beautiful. So I'm in the process of shooting some footage for that now, so that'll be coming up in the next few videos. And if you liked this video, I know this video wasn't helpful to you. You probably didn't learn that much other than to just stick it out. We don't know what's going on in the RV industry, but press that like button anyway. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, thank you.
Subscribe.
There you go. Transport Bandits, out. Did you see that fly that landed on my nose? That was crazy. All right, bye.